out of the milk. And because of that, they have a mud flavor in their meat.
That makes sense.
So, and that's what it is. And you have to cook out that mud flavor. And you can get it out, but I still don't. Especially since I raised us. So,
Yeah, that's fair.
you know,
I've got to get back downstairs. I am in a meeting until 9.
Okay.
This is all going. Shane should be up here in just a moment, and then I'll be back up a little after 9.
Okay, all right, thank you.
You're welcome.
morning. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Pretty good. Tell me your name again.
I'm Brooke.
Brooke. Yes, and you know, on my way up here, I said her name is either Brooke or Brittany. Brooke or Brittany.
There is a Brittany. She has short blonde hair.
Well, it's because you look like both of my nieces,
Uh,
and one is Brooke and one is Brittany. And I was like, okay, which one is it? Which one
that's
is she named?
funny. That's
And I couldn't remember for the life of me. And I was like, okay, well, I know it's not Ashley. It's either Brooke or Brittany. Ashley's blonde. Ashley's the only blonde niece. All the others are dark hair. She's the only blonde hair, blue eyes. Every one of my brothers and sisters, except my older brother, have a blonde and a brunette. A blonde and a brunette.
That's cute.
Every one of us.
I need to.
And everyone who has three, every one of us has brunette first, then blonde. And the ones who have three have brunette again. And I was like, well, who knew?
Nice little pattern.
Mhm.
All right, how we doing?
Good, how you doing?
Oh, we're having fun.
That did not sound enthusiastic. Try it again.
We're having fun.
All right.
So is it just the three of us?
I think so today.
Okay. Someone up here.
Okay, I know on here it says complete your KW Lab Pages profile. But for some reason I cannot find that. I don't know what that is.
We can get through that.
Okay.
We can go through that. Let me see. All right. We're getting started. Okay. Bill, are you on there?
Can you hear me?
Hey, got you now.
All right,
How are we
good.
doing today?
Doing really well. How are you?
I'm doing great. Let's see. Who's our third?
That would be Brooke, and I believe she went to the ladies' room real quick.
She went to get coffee.
Or coffee,
Yeah.
which is
All right.
much more important.
Mm-hmm. Hold on. I don't see. Okay, it's time to get started.
Okay.
All right, this is gonna be intimate today. Love it. All right. For everybody, start off with everybody do their 4 or 10-4.
10-4 is I've done so many things.
10
I would have to be.
10 contacts. Late.
Sorry.
That's all right. So sorry.
I was here.
Let's hear it right at
Gonna
night.
have to
Okay.
get
Our 10-4 is right.
Okay,
So our daily 10-4.
yes.
So we have. That is, the website is www.daily10-4.com. Okay. So if I put up here and share screen. There we go. Let's say.
I am on phone time right now, so if I go to the
That's
next
fine.
room.
Was it? Okay. Daily10-4.com. So this is your daily track. Right? So if we go in here and let's say we're going to enter. We have 10 things we need to do every day. So Bill, can you still hear me? Good. Bill, do you have me?
I think he might.
Yeah, I can hear you. It took me a second to unmute the mic.
That's all right. That's all right. We're good to go here. All right. So to get started, I am Shane Knudsen. I'm a single agent here in the KW office. I've been in real estate about 4 years now. Very honored to work with y'all today as you go through step 2 of Ignite. Help y'all get started. Today, we're going to be talking about building your business. Okay, and specifically what we're going to be talking about is your database. Because your database is your business. We'll get into that more when we get into class time. Every day when you start Ignite, we're going to go over the daily 10-4. So what that is daily you want to make 10 contacts. You want to write 10 notes. You want to add 10 people to your database. And you want to visit 10 homes a week. So 2 a day, however you want to work that out. Okay. And then at the start of every class, we're on our little whiteboard. We are going to do a report. So, with an E?
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Rebecca.
Rebecca.
REBEKK.
BEB.
BE. Instead of REBECCA, it's REBEKKA with a silent H on the end. Rebecca.
Okay, so we have contacts. Connections. We're going to have notes.
Connections is just reaching out to somebody, I assume, contacting.
Contacts is your daily phone calls.
Mhm.
So it's not 10 phone calls, it's talking to 10 people.
Okay.
Okay. Connects are 10
Wait.
people,
I thought contacts would be how many you put into your database.
either way.
Database.
Okay, you can connect with 10 people, you can put 10 contacts in your database. 10
Okay.
notes and then homes tour. Okay, Bill, how we doing? What?
Hey, doing okay.
All right, let's hear your report. Your report today. How many connections did you make?
10.
How many? 2?
10.
10? Okay. And contacts added to your database?
10.
10. All right. How many notes did you write?
10.
All right. And how many homes have you visited?
I want to say about 5.
5. Okay. All right. Brooke?
I reached out to a lot of people, didn't hear back from any yesterday.
Sorry. How many did you talk to?
10.
10.
Yes.
Okay. How many did you add to your database?
A lot. Yesterday it was like 35.
35.
It just says 10 plus whenever you go over.
That's
10.
fine. Notes?
Viewed 4 homes and notes is just 1.
When you said viewed 4 homes, you actually went there to the homes?
Mhm.
Okay.
So going to a new builders and visiting the new build homes. Homes listed on the MLS, setting up showings, whatever that is, just going out and viewing
Okay.
homes, whatever it is. All right, Rebecca.
I did not do any contacts, connects, or notes yesterday, but I did go and view 1 home.
That's all right.
And that's just so I could do a video to put it on.
I will change these around. Make so Rick's happy. Okay. All right. So this is I know this may seem like a tedious and sometimes boring exercise, and maybe even unneeded, but this is your business. This is your business, is getting in front of people, talking to people, getting on the phone with people, whatever it needs to be to get yourself talking to people, because this is a numbers game. All right. And 2 things we're going to talk, it's a numbers game in that you have to get in front of people, and just some numbers here to put that into context. For every 50 people you talk to that you do not know, right? it's 1 out of every 50 that you'll convert into a client. How they refer to that is Mets and non-Mets. So those are non-Mets. You're meeting them for the first time. For every 50 people you contact, you're going to convert 1 into a client. All right. In terms of Mets, these are people you know or you've met before. Your conversion rate is 2 out of every 12. And what that is usually it's 1 home sold and 1 referral. Is the 2 out of every 12. Okay. So you see it's a numbers game. So it's just about getting in front, getting on the phone, talking to people, getting in front of people, whatever you can do to contact and meet people. That's what you need to do, because it's simply is a numbers game. The more people you talk to, the more opportunities you're going to have, and the easier it is going to be going forward to continue to build and sustain your business. Okay. All right. So in that vein, and that's why we have this exercise and we start every day with reporting. It's not the glamour things. It's about being consistent, having daily doing the things you need to do. So every time you take a day off or take a week off, I know you need to do those things, but then it's hard to get back in a routine. This is about building habits every day, whether it's 8 to 10, 9 to 11, 9 to 12, whatever it is, setting up time each morning to get on the phone and talk to people. And the more you can make that your routine and do it consistently every single day. It's boring, it's monotonous, it has to be done. And the better you are about maintaining that consistency, the better business you're going to have and the more homes you're going to sell. Okay. So in that vein, it's 9:13. We're going to take the next 30 minutes and make phone calls. All right. Now, one thing to remember though. So one thing to remember is you're there to help people, right? You're here to help people, and people want your help. Okay? You may not think they do, but they do. They know they do. They want your help. Just tell yourself that over and over. And so we're going to spend the next 30 minutes making phone calls. People you've already contacted, people you have on your list to contact, go ahead and make those calls. And after that, we will get started with talking about databases. Okay. Bill, we good?
Yeah, we're good. I appreciate it.
All right. So 9:45 until 9:45, let's get those calls made.
Question. Yesterday, I went and found expireds that just expired October 10th.
Mhm.
Over
October
the
10th?
phone, October 1st.
Okay.
Over the phone, what would you say is the best way to get through with an expired?
Expired, you want to call immediately the day they expire.
Okay.
The reason is because there's going to be 10 other agents calling. And usually between 8 and 9 a.m.
Really?
First thing in the morning, they're getting that list and they're on the phone calling.
Hi, Ruby. This is Rebecca. How are you?
So there's a couple
Are you working tonight?
theories on how to go about expired.
I don't know
Either
what
the
happened.
first day they expire, like if they expired at midnight, you want to be on the phone at 8 a.m. calling those people.
Oh, you're kidding.
Uh,
Oh, no. Are you going to
Or
surgery?
you want to give them a week, let them get through the barrage of people calling them and inundating them with phone calls and say, and then reach out to them. And the best way is just to have a conversation. Say, it's
So is this the
script.
first time the doctor's seen it?
So let's say you're someone who's home
Okay.
expired.
Hey, do me a favor.
I'm gonna call
Give me
you
your
and
email
say,
address real
ring, ring.
quick.
Hello?
Hello? Is this Brooke?
Okay.
Yes, this is she.
Brooke, hi, this is Shane Newton with Keller.
Okay.
How are you doing this morning?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. Thank you for asking. The reason I was calling is I noticed that your home on
Hey,
123
when you
Main
get out of the
Street,
doctor's office, give me a
the
call. Let me know
listing
how
on
it
it
went.
expired
Okay, all right, love you,
last
bye.
night. I'm not sure if you're aware or not of that. And I want to just follow up with you to see if you were still planning to sell your home.
Yes.
Okay.
If the right offer comes in.
Sure. Are you planning to continue to list it with your current agent, or are you looking for an agent who's going to actually sell it?
Whoever can sell my home.
Okay. Well, let me ask you, have you already re-signed with your agent?
No.
Okay. Why do you think your home didn't sell?
I don't know.
Well, you should have feedback. Okay, but
Okay.
it's starting everything is about starting a conversation, whether it's, someone you've never contacted before, for sale by owner, expired, right?
Mhm.
Something to start a conversation and get them talking. If it's something like that, do you know why your home sold? They should have had feedback.
Yeah.
Okay, well, no, I'm not really sure.
Well,
It's
hello, it's
priced
been a long
right,
time
my
since I
home's
talked to
great.
you, young lady.
I can't believe it hadn't sold yet.
This is
I
Rebecca,
understand what in this market, it should have sold.
Yeah.
And usually
your
what I
ex-cousin-in-law.
find is that there's 3 reasons homes don't sell.
Nothing, how are
They're
you
not
feeling?
priced right. They're in poor condition.
Pretty
And
good.
looking at
How's that
photos,
boy?
your home is in great condition, right? Or the marketing is
I
bad.
bet he is. Have
Which
you had
one
a
of those
vacation
do you
yet?
think it was?
Probably marketing.
Yeah.
Well, maybe
And what is
somebody
the
needs to
marketing
come up there
represent?
and relieve you sometime soon.
Yeah. You.
Right.
Give you a vacation.
No, when everything's priced wrong, the home is always great. It's usually marketing.
Actually, I'm thinking about coming up there next month.
All right,
Yeah,
but it's the agent.
come on
And
up. and-
But
and see what
90%
you
of the
guys are doing.
time,
I haven't seen you all
95,
forever.
it's the price,
Yeah.
right?
Of course.
So, but that.
But they're
gets-
not
I don't go
gonna say
anywhere
that.
without me.
Huh?
They're not gonna say
I
that.
know. They're gonna say the marketing, the agent. You say, I understand. Let me ask you this. If
Yeah.
I have a marketing plan that has been shown to get homes sold.
Yeah. They can't,
If you have
he's not
15
going back
minutes,
into
I'd
the
be happy to
oil?
go over with and show you how I can get your home sold. With 4 o'clock this afternoon.
Oh,
best
shoot.
for you.
Okay.
And then every time you talk to them, you're always wanting to.
I
add
hope so.
that.
Hey, you know, you can always
It's
do long
close.
haul truck driving, can't you? It's,
How do you close? Okay. Well, do you have, or if they say, well, it's
Yeah.
marketing. Okay, well, why is that? Keep them talking, build rapport. and
Really?
close. All right, if it's,
and then wait for an
at
appointment.
4 o'clock today, does that work for you? Well, that time, I'm not gonna be here at 4.
Wow.
Oh, okay, is that too early, too late?
That's
Would
right,
5
yeah,
o'clock
that's
work
right.
better?
That's crazy.
Don't say morning, afternoon, give them specific times.
Right.
That allows them to say yes, no,
The
alternative.
original. Mhm,
Right.
Yeah, that's
Now you've
right.
got an
Yes, that's
alternative.
original.
Now you can work from there. Makes sense?
Okay.
Cause I feel
Oh,
like,
shoot.
oh yeah, I can go for expireds, but then
Okay,
how do I
so,
reach them without like acting like I'm attacking the past agent? Like, oh, well, did they do this? Cause we can do it better with
Well,
Keller
that's-
Williams.
That's
oh,
how
hey,
you're kind of softly attacking.
Who
them
is
by
that?
saying you want.
is that Rodney? Hey,
You say,
Rodney.
well, yeah, I think the marketing was bad because it's priced.
I'm
right
good, how are
and it's in
you?
condition. And usually it's always the price.
I can't wait to see you
Now,
again.
when you get in
I
front
haven't
of
seen
them,
you-
you talk
Well,
about,
since the
well,
reunion.
here's the things I can do to market your home. But let's look at
It
what
seems
your
like that's all
price
I've ever seen anybody these
compared to
days.
what's actually happening in the market.
Mhm.
And you go through and show, there were 5 other homes that sold in your neighborhood.
Yeah, that's what
And
I
they
heard.
were all priced between 10 and 15,000.
Yeah, they said you were down.
And $20 per
What
square
is
foot
it?
less. So why don't we bring that price down? a
Oh,
little
yeah,
bit?
oh,
set up some new marketing, some things I can do,
Atrophies.
door
Yeah.
knocking,
Mhm.
flyers, circle prospecting,
Oh,
open
man.
house. Some of those things. And let's freshen up your home.
I'm sorry to hear that. I'll be
You know,
praying for you.
maybe let's look at it and possibly do some staging,
Right?
bring the price down a little bit. Now let's home. What do you say?
Yeah. Oh, my girls are doing,
Okay.
yeah, my girls are doing great. They're full run.
All right.
Jamie's coming home from Korea here in the month, or this month. Yeah, so she'll be in Texas. She's going to come back. She's gonna go to back to Pennsylvania for training. Well, technically to Georgia for training for a month, and then she'll come to Texas in November, December. Yeah, then we'll find her house out here. Another one. Hey, let me get your email address. I wiped my database somehow. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. You sound terrible. Yeah. Oh, maybe you end up with the COVID. We all did. Yeah. Oh, shoot. Right.
I was just calling to check in, see if you had received those comps that I sent you the other day.
Hey, what's Rodney's number?
Any questions at all really about the transaction?
Okay. 43209.
General, I would love to.
Oh, 201.
On the phone and answer some
7486.
Fine, great, how are you?
Okay. I'm gonna send you a text so that you know it's me, so you put it in your phone.
Just reaching out to get information. Thank you.
Yes, I need a break and you need a break. We need a girls' night. Yeah, and then I'll watch the kids for you one day while you go, or a couple of days while you go do a massage or something. I know. He really is. Every time I've seen him, he's been fantastic. Rod, you quit being a heathen. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I know, that's right. That's why I'm at the reunion. Every time he would see Cody, he was just like, everybody else is gone. Oh, that's so sweet. Oh, shoot. All right, I'm gonna let you go. Okay. I love you too. We'll make plans. All right, love you. Bye. Sorry, I called cousins that are distant and I haven't talked to them in a while. So we had to catch up.
It's all right.
Yesterday regarding 107 East Main Street in Auburn, investment company that you were interested in. I did send you the select disclosure and flood zone map that you requested. Any questions about that? Look at the email and review it. Please feel free to call me back. guess that would be stuff that we put in our notes. Tried to call, left a voicemail about yada, yada, yada.
If you have their information captured, yes. If you have their information captured, pull up their profile in command, which I'm going to show you all today. And just add a note. Each time you try to contact them.
I don't want to disappoint both of you, but I'm not planning some secret visit. I was just seeing if you and Kevin have found any. Okay. Yeah, what is your email? Because I have one I'm looking at right here, and it has, I need to look what's up. It has a river that runs through it, but, it's the acres in Conroe. But- Yeah. Okay, yeah, it's ridiculous. Mhm. Right. Yeah, our 2 acres that we're looking at, is perfect. It's wooded and private, but has a little bit of yard, but don't have to mow the whole entire thing. Mhm. Okay. Alrighty, absolutely. I didn't know if y'all had quit on it or still looking. Okay, awesome. I'll send it over. Mhm. Bye.
Hey Cindy, this is Rebecca Miller. We work together at Weatherford. And I just wanted to see if, how you were doing, catch up a little bit. If you can give me a call, 940-255-6575. Thank you. Hey, I was just calling to check on you, see how you're doing. And I guess you're at work, so I will call you later this evening. All right. Bye. Love you. Is this Donna? Okay, Donna, I met you. You looked at an armoire in Sherman, Texas on Peachtree Lane, and you told me you were working for Ebby Halliday. Are you still working for Ebby Halliday? Okay, well, I wanted to get some tips and things from you, and I wanted to see, can I get your email address? Brown@ebby.com. How are you liking Ebby Halliday? Yes, I know. Well, I just got into real estate and I just got in with Keller Williams. But you know, it never hurts to make friends with people who are in the business though, in my opinion. No, I'm in Denton, but I'm gonna do work out there too because I know that area. You know, and Denton, I've only been out here for a year, so it's not as, but I'll probably do more in Tucker County though than anywhere because that's where, you know, I lived in Parker County for 18 years, so. Yeah, yeah. And that, right, and all these folks from California coming in.
Hi, Leslie. This is Brooke Moore with Keller Williams. We briefly texted back and forth last week about your home at 111 Acorn.
Isn't that the
Lane
truth?
You are trying to sell.
Okay, what is your last name? Okay,
Seeing
oh, just
if
like it
it's
is,
still
okay.
available and if I could come in
Okay, well, this is Rebecca Miller, and I will keep in touch with you.
Just learn.
Thank
more
you.
about
Bye.
them, and if you have any offers come in, and if there's any way that I can help you in that, you can give me a call
Yeah,
back
do
at
that.
832-314-2270. You can also text that number if it's not a great time. Have a great day. Thank you. Bye.
I'm surprised this lady had the same number.
I feel like all of my contacts, like my personal contacts in my phone,
Yeah,
are old. I'm not
mine
very
are
good
too,
at-
and so I found a couple of them that don't even have the same phone numbers. But I got to add a couple when I was talking to my cousin because her two kids were there. So I got to get their phone numbers, and they're both gonna have to have a place to live because they're living with her right now. Only problem is I'm gonna have to farm it out to somebody else because they're in Odessa and Andrews. So,
yeah.
which is fine, hey, you know, maybe I'll get a referral or something out of it.
Yeah, definitely.
That's funny, because I only met this woman one time. And she called me to come and look at an armoire, and this has been 3 years ago, 4 years ago maybe. And I kept her phone number. I put it under Donna Armoire.
Yeah, I do that too.
I didn't know what her last name was. Oh, by the way. It's like,
Yeah, I do that.
that's all right. That's okay.
Flood zone. So the MLS is already on there. And it's the lands of Texas listing.
It should be on the MLS what percentage it is. Okay, so where it says on
But
there.
this isn't on the MLS. It's,
Oh.
Lands of Texas.
This is. Maybe I'll get lucky and get this lady to finally let me sell her house. That's interesting.
All right, everyone, how we doing? Calls,
Straight to voice.
straight to voicemail.
Yeah.
All right,
I think all the ones I called, except for.
Hey Denise, this is
Okay.
Rebecca Miller. I just wanted to touch base.
Let's
with
start
you and
winding
see
it
how
up.
things were going on selling your house. So if you can give me a call, 940-255-6575, I'll be available this afternoon. Thank you.
okay, off. Bill, you ready?
Yeah, we're ready.
All right, good. So how did the calls go, everybody? Little feedback.
Calls went real good.
Excellent. How many did you get, Bill?
I got 10 calls and 8 of them I was able to make contact with.
Excellent, excellent. Any appointments set?
One,
One appointment, excellent. That's the goal, right? It's
Mhm.
exactly.
all about getting appointments. Rebecca,
I think it did 6 calls. 2 of them I did not have emails for previously, so I got their emails. But from my cousin, I also got her 2 sons who just moved in with her, who will be needing a place to stay pretty soon. I got both their phone numbers and added them to my contact list. And then I called on a lady that I've been trying to get her to let me sell her house, and I left her a message. And then I had 2 that I did not, their numbers were not good. Yeah, so
no appointments?
no appointments.
Okay,
No appointments. I called for sale by owner, left a message. A buyer that I'm working with left a message. Got through to one person and then left a message with for sale by owner.
okay, all right. So that's good. That's good. Just remember, setting a routine. Setting a routine, making sure you're making your calls every day. And you can vary the time. It's the easiest way, obviously, is to block your calendar. Everybody use a calendar of some kind, whether it's Google, Yahoo, something. Book.
Paper on the wall.
Gary Keller, this will be for you too, Bill. Gary Keller doesn't have like a folio. He doesn't use the calendar on Yahoo or Google, whatever. He has the old desk calendar that sits on his desk, just the days. And he has everything written on there. And that's what he follows.
That's why I like it.
Now, we can talk about quick thing about calendar is they may cover it in some of the other classes. Block your calendar. So to give you an example, what I do, I use the KW email, which is through Gmail. I use the associated calendar, and I put time blocks on there, and I have them set every Monday through Friday from 9 to 11 is call time. Or dialing for dollars or fun time. I call it fun time. Dialing for dollars, whatever you need to call it to inspire you. And I have a block from 9 to 11 every Monday through Friday. That's my call time. Whatever I need to do to be quiet, to make sure I'm focused during that time, that's what I do. I try to do. I'm not always successful, but I try my best to block that time off so that I'm using that time to focus on calls and making sure that I'm being consistent. Consistency is where we win. Okay. All right. And one thing always remember when you're doing phone calls is to keep in mind, I know that, the negative voices back there, hey, you're bothering these people, they don't want to hear. That's not the case, right? You have to constantly remind yourself, tell yourself, you're coming from contribution and they will welcome your call. No matter if you're offering to assist them, you're offering information, you're offering, whether it be the app, something coming from contribution. information about their home, just around the value, with the neighborhood nurtures that are in, we'll go over today. But coming for contribution, they'll welcome your call. Constantly tell yourself. All these up here on the wall are these 36 bold laws. And by the way, the one, the be do have, that's actually now be do achieve. They changed it. It's a process. You be, you do, you achieve. You be, do, achieve. And it's basically a circle. It's basically a constant circle of being who you need to be, doing the things you need to do, helps you achieve. And then it's basically, I'm doing, I'm reviewing, I'm adjusting, I'm continuing, right? It's a continual process of analysis and production, okay? Any questions to this point based on our calls or what we've done? Anyone? Okay, let's take 5 minutes. The people that write 3 notes to the people you call. Just thank you notes. Whatever you need to write 3 notes. We'll take 5 minutes and then we'll get into the database and go through business.
I have a buyer looking at a potential investment property. It's actually one of Rebecca Douglas's. And I sent him the seller's disclosure and he's asking, what is the extent of the foundation issues? What would I even say to that?
Extend the foundation issues.
Extent of the.
Yeah, right.
foundation issues.
Unless they have, you can ask if they've had an inspection done, and that's where they found the foundation issues.
Okay,
If they have had an inspection, then that should have been provided. You
The
can ask
inspection
for it. Mhm. You know, there maybe, who knows, depending on the seller, right? It says on the seller's disclosure that if they've had an inspection within the last 4 years,
yeah. thought it was-
that should be attached to the seller's disclosure. So you can ask them, but the same, and it's any kind of inspection, roof inspection, foundation inspection, just inspection on the property. It was in contract, we did an inspection on the property.
Mhm.
Any of those, they should have those listed and provided. And if they don't, at that point, or if they say, well, yes, we have them, but I don't have it, or, you know, whatever their excuse is, there's not a lot you can do at that point. You can either accept that and move forward. And then essentially you have your option period where you can walk away at any time.
Okay.
To get in contract, especially these days, just the fact you're in contract, it may be worth, just ask your client, is it worth $500? Go ahead, put in our offer, get in the contract,
Mhm.
put 150 down for option period, and then pay 350 for an inspection and have it inspected. And just say, you know, at this point, yeah, I understand, but it's basically gonna cost you $500. You can find out, you know, you can do your inspections, find out everything you need to know, and then if you know, you have your window during the option period to walk away. And, you know, for an investor, that may be worth it. Who knows? A higher price buyer or someone who's putting down more than 5%, it's probably worth it. First time buyer who's barely scraping together 3.5% to get their FHA loan may not be worth it. Kind of what it is. Okay. All right, we did our notes, 5 minutes. All right. What's everyone's thoughts on Ignite so far?
I think it's very helpful.
Mhm.
It's more, it helps hold us accountable really and helps us to get into a sequence. I had already been with another company for 4 months and I didn't have clue what I was supposed to do. I had to figure it all out. And so this has already given me more information than what I got in 4 months there. And it really helps. And hopefully I can get into a routine because I feel like these last few weeks have just not been a routine.
Yeah, the whole key to everything is consistency. Being consistent and having those routines, habits. That's really how you create success as a real estate agent in a real estate business, and really in any business, but it's just even more so in this type of business.
Right.
Mhm. Okay. Bill?
Yeah, I like Ignite. I think it's worked out really well. It's very informative and it does give you good structure and something to work with for sure.
Okay, great.
Super helpful. Definitely relighting the fire.
Mhm.
Because I felt like at first, whenever I've only been here for like a month and a half. But I was sick, I was out for 2 weeks, and then after that, I was like, what do I even do? Like, I just felt completely lost again.
I understand. And that's why we have programs like Ignite. Next Tuesday, they start the first session of Bold, right? And that's really what, the great thing about Keller Williams, not to sit here and be Mr. KW cheerleader rah-rah, but the great thing about KW is providing you with information and training to help you be successful. Like you said, you were at another company and they didn't tell you anything, right? It's just go sell something.
And
Right?
when I finally did get a mentor, I had been there 4 months. And I finally got a mentor, and my mentor said, oh, you're doing everything you need to do. You're doing great. I was like, I have done nothing. I haven't succeeded. I have no clue what I'm doing.
Mhm. It's, hey, get started. and-
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm glad everyone is enjoying it so far. I also realize that this is drinking from the fire hose.
Yeah.
It is, I
So
mean,
much
and
so.
it's going to be, and that's part of the scary thing, but also kind of the fun thing about having your own business in real estate.
Yeah.
You're going to learn something new every time. Nothing is ever the same. Nothing is ever routine, other than lead generation and the things that you can systematize. And there are ways to do that. That's one of the things about Keller Williams as well. There's systems and models for everything. But transactions are dealing with people, and no two people are the same, and no transactions are the same. And even Marilyn, who's been a great mentor for me for years. She's been in this business almost 30 years, and she even says, I still learn new stuff every day. I just got done with the transaction with the guy who's been in the business for 30 years, and he's like, I've never seen anything like it. And don't get me started on that. It'll take the rest of our time. Okay. So, but that's what we're here is to help provide you with information and just, if anything else, just remember that after today, you're actually going to have competent teachers. You just have to put up with me today. Okay. So, all right. So today what we're talking about is building your business. All right. And to simplify and cut to the chase, your database is your business. That's what we're really talking about today is your database. So have y'all gone in and logged into KW Command yet?
Yes.
Okay.
That's your data right now.
That's your database. And what we're going to be talking about today is the importance of your database, getting people in, and we'll talk about 3 things, but why it's important. Okay, so how many, did either of y'all, or Bill, you can chime in at any time. Anybody ever get inundated with emails, junk mail? Offers, whether you have whether you have a membership to bed, some kind of membership to something, right? Whether it's Chick-fil-A and their partner program, or maybe it's Bath and Body Works or Texas Fitness, whatever it is, right? Emails coming at you all the time. Or who here likes Rose's Cafe?
Oh, yeah, this is good.
Every Tuesday without fail, you're getting that Taco Tuesday email, are you not?
Yeah, Taco Tuesday's good.
Oh, yeah. Just without fail. And everybody knows they have Taco Tuesday, but still they're sending an email every week. Hey, it's Taco Tuesday, right? Why are they doing that?
Because they want to keep their name in front of everybody and be consistent.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Brand awareness, top of mind, right? And whether it's offers or incentivizing, right? But most importantly, it's brand awareness. That's what, whether it's, Rosa's Cafe, whether it's Bed Bath and Beyond, whether it's Southwest Airlines, whatever, Xerox, right? We have a Xerox machine. It's a Ricoh machine, but it's a Xerox machine, right? They're trying to get to that level where something that happens, your name is synonymous with whatever it is. And that's part of that marketing. And that's why our database is so important. One is we have information, we've captured it, but it allows us, these databases of information allow companies and are going to allow us in our business to constantly contact and market to people and keep our names top of mind. And here's why that's important. So, the first thing is that information is power. The more information you have, the more you're going to have a reason to contact your clients. You're going to be able to contribute to them, come from a place of contribution and provide value, right? That's the most important thing when you're working with any client, is we want to be able to come to them with value, because that's what they're going to remember. If you're providing information, if you're providing resources, anything that you can provide that brings value to them, whether it's knowing and understanding the value of their home, whether it's providing painters, whether it's or any other contractor, just being able to call them up and, hey, how is Sally doing? Just knowing their names, right? Birthdays, things of that nature. Anything that's going to bring them value is going to keep you top of mind. It's going to provide value to them. And that's what's going to continue to build the relationship. Because here's the important stat. Okay, Bill, you ready for this? 88% of clients say that if they would use the agent they used on their last transaction, whether it was buying a home or selling a home, 88% of people are happy with their agent and would use their agent again. However, only 12% do. Why?
Follow-up? They aren't following up, the lack of follow-up?
No follow-up, not staying in contact. Most of the times they don't, they are like, I love my agent, I can't remember their name. Right? So a couple years ago, I was going through Bowl. And one of the guys that was in my group is out of the South Lake office. And he had not done a good job of following up with his clients. He was trying to build his business. He got it. He was able to get everything organized. He started going back through his clients. Called a guy who was getting in the process about to sell his home. Hadn't called Billy because he couldn't remember Billy's name. And Billy had to stay in contact. It's like, hey, I'm really sorry. Let's sit down and talk. Let me show you what I can bring of value to you and help you out. So not only did he talk to me, he signed him for that one. It led to not only that transaction, it led to 4 more. Because the guy's son was buying a home, they had a vacation home they were selling, and they got 2 other referrals.
I know that's true because my niece went to school with a girl And she got a real estate license, and when my niece married and they got ready to buy a house, they went to her. And so when her sister got ready to buy a house, they went to her. And then when I divorced, my ex-husband used her, and then when my father passed away, my mom ended up using her to sell her house.
Mhm.
So just because they all knew who she was.
Right.
And kept up with her on Facebook.
And the value of that phone call turned into, I think he said it was right around $100,000 in GCI. Gross commission income. Just with the follow-up. So that's why we market. That's why your database is your business. It's so important, right? Being able to capture that information and then being able to market to. So when we talk about our database, and I want to go through these things real quickly. And this is all in your packet. And you can read through it. I'm going to try to talk to you more today on practical value. And then we'll get in and we'll look at command and how we can utilize it and maximize it. Okay. So how we maximize our database, there's three things we want to do. We want to contact people, right? We want to contact and collect their information, put it in a database, right? We want to classify them once we have them in there so that they're organized. We have plans for each type of contact we have in our database, how we want to contact them. And then we want to campaign to them. Just like those email campaigns from Roses every Tuesday, Taco Tuesday, right? We're going to campaign to people because the biggest thing is touches. What we talk about is touches. And the more we can touch people, stay in contact. And there's various ways. We're going to talk about a lot of ways to do that. The more you can touch people, the more you stay top of mind, the more they're going to think of you when they need assistance or when they're talking to someone else who needs assistance. Right? We're in a referral business, right? So I can do a great job with a client. Well, on average, somewhere between 7 and 10 years, we'll say usually the average is around 7 years, people move, right? So throughout the lifetime of a client, they're going to buy 5 homes. They're going to buy first home. They're going to buy their first upgrade, right? They need more space because now they're having kids, right? They're going to have their second upgrade. They're going to then buy, more than likely downsize, and then they're going to buy their luxury purchase to retirement. So once every 7 years, those 5 homes, that's 35 years. Say they buy their first home at 30. So by the time that's 65 is when they buy that 5th home every 7 years. And that's their luxury retirement. Okay. So if all I'm doing is talking to the people that are in my database and that are my customers, then I've got to have a lot of customers because it's only once every 7 years. Now, if I'm talking to a lot of people, I'm adding people to the database, but by keeping in contact with my clients, I'm expanding that net through referrals. Okay, so how do we define a contact? For a database.
Somebody you've reached out to.
And what information do we need from that contact?
Name, email, phone number, address, is it months, birthdays,
Right.
months?
No, yes. So at a very minimum, name, phone number, email. Just absolutely have to have those three things. Because one, we need their phone number to contact them, whether it's calling, whether it's texting. Also need their email to contact them because we want to be able to campaign to them. We want to be able to send them information, and we need a place to send the DocuSign. Right? We want them to sign that agreement, sign that contract, whatever we need to do, need a place to send that DocuSign. If at all possible, get their address. Makes it much easier to market to them because one of the campaigns we'll talk about here in a second, the neighborhood neighborhood nurture monthly email goes out every 30 days with information about average square footage for their neighborhood, average price in their neighborhood, average days on market. Easy way to touch them. And you can do it 12 times a year by just pressing one button, setting it up, and it does it automatically. Okay. So when we talk there's three types of contacts we can put in our database. There's people we've met, and I already talked about the statistics on that. People you've met, for every 12 contacts, there's going to be 2 transactions, a purchase and a referral. Okay. Non-mets, that's people we haven't met, that we're cold calling, we're meeting through door knocking, we're meeting through open houses, circle prospecting, calling FISBOs and expires, not mets. 1 out of every 50 are going to convert into a client. So there's a lot of calls you have to have. But the thing is, if you're consistent, so like if you look at what we're asking you to do in Ignite, it's 10 calls a day, right? Or I think it's actually 10 calls between each session, basically. So 200 contacts is what there's 200 contacts and adding those to your database. Okay, so if the numbers work, you should have 4 transactions in that, right? In bold, they talk about 20 contacts a day or 100 contacts a week. So think about this. If you do that on a consistent basis, and 20 a day is a lot, but that's part of being bold, right? We're going to be aggressive. We're going to take the bull by the horns. We're going to go do it. 100 contacts, that's 2 clients a week. That's 100 contacts or 100 transactions in 1 year with 2 weeks of vacation. Okay. So let's think about it this way then. So let's say, we're going to put our 2 weeks of vacation on our calendar. First thing, you always want to block off your vacation. Make sure you take it. Make sure you take your vacation. I know everyone thinks the world's going to fall apart if they leave, and I may lose, something's going to go wrong with this transaction, that transaction. The world's going to fall apart. It's gone on a long time before we got here. It's going to keep going, right? There's people here that can help you as well. Everyone needs time to rest and recover. Get that schedule. Okay, so now at an average of 50 weeks a year, if you do 50, let's say, if you do 1 transaction every 2 weeks, what does that work out to? 25 transactions. We'll put that up here on the board. Okay. 25 transactions. What is the average price, home value in Denton County?
67,000.
367.
It's about like 360,
Okay.
but I mean, it's going up and down.
Goes up and down, up and down. Just for simplicity's sake, we'll say 300,000. Okay. What's 25 times 300,000? Well, how about this? What's 3% of 300,000? $9,000. It's 9 times 25.
225.
You can do one transaction every 2 weeks. At 300, an average price of $300,000. That's $225,000 in GCI. How would $225,000 change your life? Would it make it worse?
No.
No.
Throw me into another tax bracket.
Yes, it would do that. That's another class. That's another class we offer. Well, we don't offer it now. In the other Ignite, they did managing your business. Right. And if you ever have questions on how to manage your business, call me, reach out to me at any time. I'm glad to help. I have mine structured as a LLC. It's an S corporation. I had it set up before because before I got into real estate, I was in consulting. I did it for 12 years. I did it for companies and I started my own for about a year. So it helped, but with 225,000, you can change your life very quickly. And then depending on how you structure your business, there's different ramifications, the tax impacts, things of that nature. CPA would help you with that. If you're an individual agent, you're using it, basically, you're using your 1099. That all flows into income. You're gonna have to pay your own taxes. If you structure it like I do, where it's an LLC, I basically, everything goes into my LLC. I track all of my expenses. I have a P&L. And all of my taxes are based on whatever my net income is, and then it passes through to me on my income for the 1040. Anyway, but even at that, if you look at that number, the 1025, you subtract your cap and your royalty, that's still 204. Let's say even at a 25% tax, that's $150,000 net. That's life-changing. Life-changing. And that's the whole goal, right? Is get everyone into a place where you're able to change lives. And it's not just about money. You know, money is one factor, just emotional. You're running your own business. You can create your own schedule. It helps you, you're helping people, right? And with that kind of money, now not only can I help my clients, it allows me to contribute to charity. It allows me more freedom in how I set up my schedule so I can have more time to be with my family. And all it takes is 25 transactions, right? So if you're talking to 10 people a day, that's 50 people a week. That should be one transaction. Well, let's say you get one out of every 100 instead of one out of every 50. That's still 25 transactions, 50 weeks a year. Right? It's not bigger. I know it seems huge, right? It's just about doing little things over and over and over. Picking up the phone, making phone calls, you know, whatever you need to do that. Okay. So once Now, once we've done that, the third type of contact is, so we talked about Mets, having Mets, referrals, right? Keeping in contact with your Mets and people in your database allows for referrals because, and one suggestion. Every time you're at the closing table, so I know the real estate by design team, what they do is at every transaction, Jay and Carissa, they go in with them to the closing. Thank you so much. So glad we could help you. We really appreciate it. The only thing we ask is at the closing table, if you could give us 2 referrals. And just need their name, phone number, and email address. And you can tell them we're going to contact them, or we'll contact them on our own. But we would really appreciate that. Every time I go to the closing table, I talk to them. I have, a small gift, whether it's wall hanging or some gift cards to Lowe's, especially for my people, first time buyers. Some gift cards to Lowe's is invaluable because they're going to need hoses, they're going to need all kinds of tools and implements to run it, right? And I just appreciate them, say thank you. Or it's not even at the closing table. Anytime I'm talking to people that I know, I just mention, hey, I'm in real estate. If you know anyone who's looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, hey, give them my name, number, or let me know and I'll contact them. Just ways to get additional information. Okay, so we talked about name, phone number, email address. Those are the 3 main things we have to have. Address is number 4, second most important, because then we can mail them notes, cards. We can do the neighborhood nurture, and we can send them neighborhood information. Right. And then any additional information past that you can collect just adds to your ability to contact and bring value. Birthdays, home anniversary. If you have someone in your database and you have their address, first thing I did when I migrated everyone over, I just started going through my phone and pulling people in that I thought I could help, or keep in my contacts list as possible vendors, possible clients, possible resources of any kind. Got their name, phone number, email in there. And then I got their address. If I got their address, we got a neighborhood nurture. If I knew their birthday, I put it in. Every year, if there's a birthday plan, you can send them, it'll give you a 5-day alert to send a card. And then it'll remind them on their birthday to give them a call, and it'll send an automated text message that you can set up happy birthday. Right.
I had a big aha moment the other day. I'm also a photographer, so I've been, after my photo sessions, I'll write a handwritten note and throw my photography business card and my realtor business card in there. And I'm like, man, but how do I get these people's addresses without being like, oh, hey, what's your address? So then I would, obviously I have their cell number, go in Remind and find their address that way.
And Remind? Remind is one way. Another easy way, get a membership to Yellow Pages. Usually if you pay it up front, they'll do a 1-year membership for $120, or they have things where you can invest $20 a month, or just it's basically a membership to White Pages. If you have their phone number, you put their phone number in, reverse prospect it, check their name, get their address, and then you got it. I'm not gonna have their birthday, but you'll need,
Facebook
and it will not have their
was,
email.
I know.
Right. But yeah, there's other resources, right? There's LinkedIn, there's Facebook, Twitter profiles. Kind of sad to say, but we're kind of professional stalkers in some ways.
My mom has a little mother-in-law suite that she's wanting to rent out at her house now. And she was like, can you check on this lady? She's coming to check it out. Can you see if she is safe, pretty much? I was like, yeah, I just need her phone number. She's like, that's all you need. Just her phone number. I was like, unless there's more than one of her name or something, actually her name.
Well, there's other resources we can use to gather information. Now, I will tell you, do not use this for information gathering, but especially for you ladies and trying to protect yourself. If you get a call, like if you're on phone time, someone calls in, hey, I'd like to see this property, and you don't know this person, use the app, the forewarn app.
I have
Oh,
that.
that's what I meant when I said earlier about their address. For one, not remind. But yeah, remind would work also.
I would not suggest using forewarn as a prospecting tool for gathering information. I would not do that. I would suggest using white pages. I would suggest using forewarn if you have a phone number and you want to validate a call. Just plug it in, check the name, and while you're there, check the address. But then check the other information for validation. Am I walking in someone, with someone who has criminal history? Right.
I got a text just the other day from someone I had worked with that said, hey, I need you to run out and get a gift card for me real quick and meet me. And I was like, I just
That's a
thought-
phishing scheme.
I know. And I was like, one, they either want you to get it and then give them the number, or they want you to get it and then meet them somewhere and then rob you for it. And I was like, the person that the name they used was someone I literally just talked to. I was like, they stole that off my website.
I saw a YouTube video 2 days ago. A guy who does investment properties down in Florida. He's a broker. And he's got bald hair, but he's got a long beard about down to here. He's a real estate broker. Looks like he probably would be in a biker gang.
Or on Duck Dynasty.
Not quite that. He's got bald head, not long hair.
No.
And he's more like a surfer dude than a redneck. But anyway, he was talking about what's happening down in South Florida. There are people in this one area that are calling. They're getting, they're basically faking title documents, calling real estate agents, asking to sell the property at well below property value and committing fraud. But they don't care because they're trying to go in, sell it quick, get the money, get gone. No one's found them, and now there's whole issues around title fraud.
I heard about something about that.
So one thing to keep in mind. Okay. And other type of information you can gather. We talked about name, address, email, phone number, birthdays, home anniversary. So if you have their home address, you should immediately have their home anniversary. Go directly into Denton CAD, Colin CAD, DCAD for Dallas, Tarrant CAD. Look it up. One of the first things I did with everyone I had an address for in my database, find their home anniversary. That's a yearly touch where you can write a note and card. Hey, congratulations on another year in your home. Hope it's been a blessing to you. If I can ever be of assistance, or I hope it's been a blessing to you and continues to be for the next year. If I can be of assistance, let me know. Just a nice handwritten note. Put it in an envelope, stamp, send it to them. It does wonders. Just like a birthday card does wonders. And those are little touches that most people don't do. Even most realtors, even though they know it, don't do it. And you'd be amazed at the goodwill that that brings. And especially when it then, it comes to later on, if they do decide to have a transaction or they talk to one of their friends, hey, think about someone, hey, you need to call. They're awesome, but not only that, they're great people. They always send me a birthday card. Great stuff. Marital status, children, getting children and children's birthdays, put that in your database. Oh yeah, bonus. Pets, their social media, going out on Facebook, saying happy birthday. That's one of the first things I do every day is I get in, I check my mail, clean out all the junk, get it down to what needs to be there. I have folders set up for each of my clients that are either kind of as a prospect right now, if they're active or they're in contract, I organize them and like setting up auto emails from MLS, track those, put them in their folders, right? I go through that every day. One of the first things I do after that is I go to Facebook, I look at the birthdays. Everyone on there, I say happy birthday. Just to make sure. Never know.
Okay.
Just to keep yourself top of mind. And as someone who recently had a birthday, feels good going out there and seeing, hey, it's another birthday, blah blah blah, and then you go out on Facebook and you have a bunch of people saying happy birthday, or seeing a birthday post and putting likes on there. Yeah, I mean it's stupid because all social media is stupid, but it's a
It still makes you feel good, though.
it's a necessary evil,
Yeah.
but it still makes you feel good that you
That people
that
thought
people
of
are
you.
thinking of you and at least took the time to say happy birthday.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So and this is where, okay. So we feed our database. We put people in our database 10 a day, right? Try to feed the database. The next thing we do is we're going to classify the database. By the way, Bill, you have any questions or comments on what we've covered so far? Am I going too fast?
No, you're doing just fine. Everything's great. I appreciate that.
Mike, is there anything that I haven't covered that you have questions about?
No.
Okay.
You covered everything really well. I appreciate that.
Other than I'm full of crap, right? Right? Okay. All right. So we're going to go through these couple of things, and then we're going to actually go into command, and I'm going to show you how to do these. Okay. So now we have the contact information. We've collected it. We've put it in our database. The next thing we need to do is we need to classify these contacts. And we can do this in a number of ways. We can do it by address. You can do it by name. But we have tags in command and any other database, whether it's, whether you're using, what are those? E-Edge was marked.
Yeah, just one here.
Right. E-Edge, that's the old database. That's
Yeah,
what-
I tried to look it
Yeah.
up. It's like, it's not-
It's, well, whether it's Command or any of the other different platforms that provide database services, Lion Desk is one. They all have ways to tag people. And each of the systems has system tags that are already generated for you, or you can create custom tags. And you can do that tagging them with a letter, by their last name. You can tag them with prospect, buyer, seller, investor, however you want to contact people. Hey, this is a vendor that I have. Maybe it's a painter. Okay, I get their information. It's in my database. I put vendor on it. Now I can stay in front of them because you know what? Vendors refer people too. And one way to come from contribution. So one of the smart plans that's in there is a quarterly call. And I set up everyone in my database on a quarterly call. At minimum, I'm talking to everyone. I try to talk to everyone in my database once a quarter. Now, the McKissick's, Real Estate by Design, some of these larger teams, they have thousands of people in their database. Now they have big teams and they're having their teams contact. You can have thousands of people in your database and still be a single agent. Okay, you're probably not going to be able to talk to all of them. At that point, it becomes prioritization. You can still contact everyone through the smart plans and the marketing. One of the reasons we have a database, because if you get 2,000 people, it's kind of hard to contact them all without some kind of automation. So that's why, one of the reasons we market and have our database. That's why it's in our business. At that point though, you can figure out, okay, if I talk to, there was a guy at Family Reunion had a routine where he did 5 calls a day, 5 social media posts a day, and 5 notes a day. And basically you take those 15 and he's rotating it. But if you take 5 a day times, but I think he basically prioritized it to where he had basically his top 360 people in his database, whether they were either active or his best clients in terms of referrals. And he stayed in contact with them all the time. And what he did was the 5, 5, and 5, he did that once a quarter. But he prioritized, he had 3,000 people in his database, but he knew that, okay, these 300 people I want to stay in contact with. So he made sure and did the personal touch for those 3. It's, if you go into the red book, it talks about, you basically have spheres of influence, right? And this intimate sphere here, this one, and that's like your family and your close friends, right? And then you have this next one, and that's going to be the people that are, good friends and your close business relationships. The vast majority of the business you do is going to come out of one of those 2 spheres. And then you have a little larger group, which are people you met, acquaintances, and then there's the world at large. Right? Keeping in contact with those, especially that inner sphere. The personal sphere, you want to contact them once a month at minimum. These are the people that obviously family, your close friends, and your intimate allies in business, right? They're the people that are referring business to you. Those are the people that, if someone asks you for a financial planner, immediately, go talk to this person. I need a painter, this person, talk to them. Those are the people you want to contact, and you want to keep in contact with them at worst every quarter. Rest, you can automate and market to through the campaigns. Right. So those are those groups. that make sense? Or am I just rambling at this point?
No, that makes sense.
Okay. So that's part of the reason we classify. We have those people that are our business allies, they're our family, they're our close contacts. Well, we want to be able to identify them quickly. We can create tags in command to where even a smart view where I can instantly pull this information using this tag as a filter. And now I have my top 10 to 20 people under that classification where I can go through. And if I say, okay, today I want to talk to, or this week I'm going to talk to everyone in my database that are my close allies. I'm going to do that once a month. And let's say it's 20 people. Okay, I pull it up, I can call 5 a day, knock them all out in a week. But I wouldn't be able to do that if I didn't have a classification for it. Does that make sense? Bill, make sense?
Yeah, it does make sense.
All right. Oh. All right, so we have, and there's different ways, right? There's types. So that's buyer, seller, you know, they're a buyer, they're just a seller, they're a buyer and a seller, they're an agent, they're a renter, they're an investor, they're their vendor. That's our types we can classify. We have groups we can base on business relationships. We have groups we can base on personal relationships. We can group them by college, sports, church, PTA, create all kinds of tags for these people and ways to sort them so that you can, if you need to get in touch with them, you can quickly pull their information and contact them, or set up ways to touch them through various campaigns if needed. Okay, now once we have people, and so now we have people in the database, now we've classified them. Another way we can classify them is, you know, we can qualify them in various ways, right? Just like we're qualifying buyers and sellers when we contact them. Always pre-qualify. So when you're talking to someone, have that first call, hey, they call in, hey, I saw the ad for 123 Main Street. It looks like a great home, great price. I'd like to go down and see it. Great. Okay. What is it about the home you like? So that way, if you need to, you can pull up 3 or 4 others. And if this one goes into contract, hey, you know, Mr. Jones, sorry, this one went in contract, but I have these 3 others that are just like it. How about we can keep our time and we'll go see these 3 instead. Or I'd already scheduled these with, is that okay with you? Right. But always part of that pre-qualification, and then as well as, are you working with another agent at the current time? Yes or no? Have you talked to a mortgage broker and gotten pre-qualified for a loan? Yes or no? Oh, you haven't? Well, I have a list of about five mortgage providers I can give you here, as well as here is my KW app, and one of the great things we offer in our KW app is Keller Mortgage. As long as you're spending over $150,000, they have what is called a 0+ loan. It's no recording fee, no underwriting fee, no origination fee on the loan, and they'll give you $1,000 towards closing. If you have a $250,000 home, that's probably going to save you close to $4,000 in closing. Would that be of interest to you? But it's getting information back, because am I going to sit here and set up 20 showings for this buyer and they haven't even taken the time to go get qualified? I'll give them 1. And then, hey, you need to go get your pre-qualification because the homes are moving so quickly. We need to be able to act. And if we don't have your pre-qualification, they're not going to accept your offer. So pre-qualifying. Pre-qualifying, why are they looking? These are things we put in the notes. You talked about putting notes in there when you called, and you want notes on every note you can get adds value. Area they're looking in. What is their time frame? What type of home are they looking for? If they're buying, do they have a home to sell as well? Why are they moving to these areas? Because the schools, they have kids, and you have pets. Okay, well, let's consider this. I have a client right now, is a gardener, and actually about to become an arborist. Wants to have a greenhouse. Okay, well, that's something we need to consider, because we're gonna have to check with HOAs. They may not allow you to put a greenhouse in the backyard. So we need to keep that in mind. Every piece of information, again, we put in the notes, help us qualify and better understand our buyers and sellers, and especially on time frame. And one thing to keep in mind on time frame, if they're actually motivated and going to buy. So let's say you're talking to a buyer, they say, yeah, I'm looking to buy, but I'm looking to buy in about 6 months. If they're actually motivated, you cut whatever time frame they give you. They say 3 months, it's gonna be 1 to 1.5. Because you're gonna start dripping on it. Hey, you know what? We talked about what you're looking for. You're in this, you want 350 price range, 3-bed, 2-bath. Over here in Corinth. How about I set up an auto email for you? Just so you can get an idea of the homes that are available, and have a good idea in mind. If that's the area you're wanting, those are the type of homes. Do we need to expand or limit our search? Start getting ideas. But some, probably within, if they say 3 months, within 2 weeks, they're going to see a home come through on that list that hey, I'd like to get out and see that. Great, I'm happy to do that. Have you done your pre-qualification? Yeah, I'm actually talking to my mortgage lender today. Great, let's get out and see this home. We'll find out how your pre-qualification is going. If it's something that you really like, we can move forward. And once they get started, they're rolling. So just remember, whenever they give you a time frame, probably cut it in half. Okay. We talked about classifying our contacts, the various types, the groups, whether it's family, friends, school, teams, vendors. Vendors would be type, status, whether they're active, whether they're inactive. Are they hot? Are they cold? That's where your time frame comes in. Okay, and then we're going to campaign to. And that's where we're going to touch them. It depends on the type of buyer they are. Anything that, before we go to campaign, anything we talked about on contacts and classification that you have questions on? Bill?
No, you've covered it just fine.
Okay. Becca, good? Right, good? Okay. So campaigns, when we talk about touching people, that's our campaigns. Anything we can do to touch them, whether it's through email, phone, note, having lunch, inviting them to an event. But a lot of our touches are going to be through our campaigns in our database. We're going to automate them. And it's keeping things top of mind. We already talked about the one, the neighborhood nurture. So providing them value on the value of their home. What homes are selling for as an average per square foot, average days on market, average prices. for the homes in their neighborhood. Okay, all they need then is the square footage of their home, and they can quickly take the average and say, okay, my home is about in this value. Wow, it's gone up 50, in the last 10 years, it's gone up 20%. Well, maybe time to sell it. And if so, I got the value right here on here's contact for my realtor. Or their neighbor may say, they're talking to their neighbor out front yard. Wow, did you see what the value of homes are in the neighborhood? No. Well, yeah, I just got an email saying, the homes in this neighborhood are averaging over $200 per square foot now. Wow, at that point, I probably ought to sell. Well, here, let me send you the email. My realtor's information is at the bottom. Give me a call. But we're going to use targeting campaigns, and these campaigns are going to vary based upon the type of person we're trying to contact. Okay. So there's really two basic types of people we're going to contact. Those who are short-term, in terms of, hey, we've contacted them, they're a prospect, they're ready, they may or may not be ready to go. Well, we're going to have a very short-term, high-touch contact. In the book, it talks about the 8x8. But I'll show you what it is in command. But it's basically high touch over a short period of time, usually 8 weeks, where you're touching base with them multiple times a week for 8 weeks. Then your more long-term contacts, it talks about in your guide about a 33 touch. It then became a 36 touch since the time the documents for Ignite were written. And now I think in MREA 2, they've modified that as well. I think anything over 32 is probably good. I'm going to show you real easy, and this is for long-term sustained content. These are people that are prospects or clients who have talked to you and have expressed interest in the next year. Your long-term contacts, you're probably not going to give them 33 touches, because basically that's 3 a month, or 36. That's 3 a month. It's a little tedious at that point. So your long-term vendors, things of that nature, maybe somewhere around 16 to 20. Set them up on a neighborhood nurture that's once a month, and a quarterly phone call. That's 16. That's plenty. If you've worked with them and you're just trying to stay top of mind and, once a month, hey, how you doing? You basically around 20 is what I do. So neighborhood nurture, that's once a month. Quarterly phone call, that's for a year, that's now 16. If I add in home anniversary, birthday, wife's birthday, that's 19, around 20. That's more than enough to stay top of mind. Especially if you did a good job for them, they like you, they're going to call you. Okay. But these are touches that for prospects that we're trying to stay, whether they're trying to decide if now's the right time, or maybe within, basically within the next year, right? So we're going to do an 8x8, and this is basically your first time contact. You meet someone at an open house. They say, well, yeah, we're looking, we're probably thinking about buying here fairly soon, but we're not sure. It may be, maybe a year. Okay, well, I'm gonna do an 8x8. And so over 8 weeks, I'm gonna basically contact them once a week for 8 weeks. And it's gonna be phone calls, it's gonna be notes, it's gonna be emails. How we doing? Thanks for coming to my open house. Next one, hey, just following up. Hey, here's some value we can add as far as things to consider while you're moving. Have you thought about what you're gonna do in terms of home security? Anything you can add, right? Hey, here's a list of vendors that could help you with getting a mortgage. Here's some ideas to think about once you get your new home. Does it have granite countertops? Does it have, is it laminate floors or is it hardwood? Is it carpet? Different things about it. But 8 touches, hey, I'm here to help. I'm here to help. I'm adding value. I'm adding value. Staying top of mind so that when, okay, we're ready to go. Call me back. Well, great. Glad you called. Let's set up that showing and glad I can help you. And now we're rolling. Okay, so that's short-term, high touch. Then if it's more of a long-term nurture, we're going to move to the 36 touch. So that's where we're doing a monthly neighborhood nurture. We may be doing adding value, you can contact them on holidays. Well, if you do a monthly neighborhood nurture and you do a holiday plan, that right there, that's close to 20. If you do a quarterly call plan, that's 4 more. And depending on the holidays you contact them for, I mean, that could be actually 12 more. That's maybe close to 24. Quarterly call plan is 28. Birthday, husband and wife, that's 30. They got 2 kids, that's 32. Home anniversary, that's 33. So somewhere around 33, 36. There's a guy out in California who had a program. It was a 52 touch program. They were contacting people in some way once a week. An email with value, a phone call, a note, an event that they were throwing and offering them stuff. There's different things you can do, different ways to market. And you'll cover some of those in some of the later sessions. But one of the ones that I loved was there was several people do this, but one lady up in Oregon, every year about Thanksgiving, she contacts everyone in her database, and especially those that have done business with her in the last year. Says, hey, thank you so much for your referral, purchasing a home, selling your home with us. We're really appreciative of all that work. We're going to give you a free pie and deliver it to you for Thanksgiving. What kind of pie would you like? Pecan, apple, pumpkin, whatever. And it's just our gift to you to say thank you, and we really appreciate your business. And we'll bring that by and deliver to, if you'd be kind enough to give us a referral as well, we'll kick in cool with. So staying top of mind with the pie. And hey, how about that referral? We could just cool it to go with that pumpkin pie. Doesn't cost them anything, just a number. So things like that. Movie nights, barbecues in the park. Hey, everybody, it's don't know if you have plans for this weekend. We're just gonna have barbecue. We're gonna cook out some hot dogs and hamburgers in the park. Love for you to come by. May have a couple of exhibits and things. No pressure. Just come on out, grab free burgers, say hi, and say that let us say thank you. And then other people in the park are walking by and, hey, what's going on? Hey, thanks. Hey, I'm just having some free burgers and, day at the park with some of my clients. I'm Shane Newsom with Keller Williams. How can I help? What are your real estate needs? Are you buying? Are you selling? You know anyone who's looking to buy, sell, or invest? Well, while you're here, why don't you fill out this information? Something.
I have a question for you.
Mhm.
I don't know if this is ethical or not, so that's gonna be my question. There's a new community going up in my neighborhood. I
Mhm.
mean, 5 minutes from my house. Is it, and even though they have a strict right to sell, could you still set up something in the neighborhood that said, oh, we're just excited that this new complex is going up, and
When you say community.
yeah, it's just a development. It's
It's
Claremont.
New
Claremont
subdivision.
Estates, the new
Yeah.
subdivision. Could you set something up, just say, oh, we're so excited about this going up, and so, come over and have some free hot dogs and hamburgers. We're just gonna,
There's no reason you couldn't get some info, go over, talk to the ladies or whoever's
at
in
their,
in the model
yeah,
in the office and say, hey, I live right here. I'm a realtor. I have some, I have some buyers that are interested in, I think would probably be interested in the homes. Can I get some information? Do you mind if I do some events? Maybe to help generate some interest in the neighborhood. They should. Especially if you're not asking them for money.
right.
Hey, I'm gonna offer, I like to do events for my clients. I think several of them would be interested in your neighborhood. What if I go out here to the park, right outside the entrance, and I'm just gonna market to all my clients and do a day at the park, and I can help market your neighborhood. Do you mind? Free marketing. I don't know why they would. Yeah.
Okay.
You can always, and if not, you can get some of their information. Hey, do you mind if I, use your neighborhood for some information, people I'm passing out to? I'm about to go door knock 100 people. You mind if I share some of the information about the neighborhood? They shouldn't.
I didn't think about door knocking with their information.
Just, hey, let me, here's.
I will
what-
ask them first, though.
Well, go and ask
Yeah.
them, do you mind if I do this? No, and just say, hey, I'm gonna put together a marketing flyer. And I'll bring it by so you can see it, just so we're all in agreement, make sure I'm being clear and not offering anything that's not true or ethical in my marketing information. And you can sign off. Are you okay with that? Sure. Create a flyer, take it over there. You good with this? Great. Go door knock 100 people. Hey, this new neighborhood's coming up, just started. I know there's, a lot of the new home communities don't have any homes left, or they're basically doing auctions for lots. But this new one has plenty of lots available and homes at a reasonable price. Here's some information. I can help you. I'd be glad to help. And then you also make an agreement. You can also talk about, hey, if someone comes in and they're carrying my flyer, if they're not represented with an agent, then obviously I'm the procuring cause. You can put me down as their agent. Something like that. Not bad.
Thank you.
Okay, makes sense.
Mhm.
All right. Anything we've covered at this point? Anybody have any questions? Bill?
No, everything sounds good.
All right. Good to hear. All right, so now let's go out. Let's look at what we got in Let's actually go out and look at our database. That's not the right one. Okay, by the way, Rebecca, and answer your question,
Mhm.
if you go to kwconnect.com, kwconnect.com, it'll take you to a homepage. You make sure you're logged in under your login information, which is the one they gave you. And then here on White Pages profiles is where you can search for other people.
Okay.
Yeah. Or you can
Okay.
go, once you're here, my profile, that's your White Pages profile. Log in, go to my profile, and that's where they should have a lot of that information in there for you, but you can go in and update that information and add to it if you want to. Okay. All right. So now, if you haven't done so, which I'm assuming most of you have, agent.kw.com takes you to the login page for Command. Agent.kw.com. And you'll have this login screen, which is your KW username and password, which was set up when you first started with Diana. She would have set that up for you and given you that information. Okay. So once we do that, we log in. It takes us to our homepage within Command. This is mine. Okay. So up here in the left, obviously you have your tasks, have goals, recent leads, designs, database health, etc. So today what we're talking about is contacts. So we're going to go down to the second one, contacts. Is there anyone who hasn't done this to this point? You have?
Oh my gosh, look at all your tags.
All right. Bill, have you already set up your command?
Yes, I have.
Okay, great. So everyone's familiar with this, which makes this a lot easier. But just for those who may be watching at home later on YouTube or whatever. Okay, so we go into our contacts, and this is how it's basically structured. Our contacts page, and right now they're alphabetized in alphabet, or they're in alphabetic order based on first name.
Mhm.
That annoys me, but it is what it is. You can work on customizing your columns and how it's done. Now, so the important thing is we want to add the contact. So we're going to go up here to the right, click add contact, and now we have new information. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to add a new contact. This one's going to be me. So we want their full name or whatever name you use to most common. That's me. We'll use an email, and I'll do okay. Set that up. Primary phone number, and you can get multiple emails and multiple phone numbers. Like here's, I put in a personal one, you can get their work number. You have both. Again, as much information as you can gather. Phone numbers, whether it's personal, whether it's home, whether it's mobile, whether it's cell, work. If they have multiple phones, get multiple numbers. I'll do this one. Okay,
Were you born in 71?
no comment.
I was born in 65, so you're a baby.
Yes. So, yeah, it was the 0 birthday this year. I don't like those 0 birthdays. Okay,
It gets easier.
yeah, it actually does. So, okay. So, basic information in name, email, phone number. Okay, now's where we can start our categorization and how we can break these people into lists. One, are they a lead? Right? Are they active, looking to get in? And maybe they're a lead, but they're 6 months. Well, I can put them as a lead, but not add them to my sales plan. If they're within a month, or you're actively out looking at homes, add them to the sales pipeline. And then our lead source type, this is very helpful because you want to know what are my most effective means of meeting people. Because if I have something where I'm meeting 50 people doing this, and I'm spending a lot of time doing this other marketing effort, and it's gotten me 1, well, why don't I focus on the thing that's getting me 50 contacts? Right. Because there's a list, by the way, if you want to send me an email asking for this information, I will give you 2 things to help with your, either organize your database or help you in your business. The first is, we'll talk about here in a second, is called DTD2, it's do the database 2. It's a quarterly call plan to systematize how you're calling people. Okay. The other is a flyer that talks about 99 ways to lead gen. Right. So your basic 5, there's your sphere, there's open houses, there's for sale by owners, there's expireds, there's door knocking. It's your most prominent 5 and probably most effective 5 for most people, right? So, but then there's a list that I can send you with ideas of 99 different ways to lead generate. Okay. Thomas talked about he had times where he would just go and stand by the for sale by owner signs at Lowe's and just hang out there for about an hour. Anybody who came by, he'd hand him his card. That's well. It was genius. But yeah, anyway, people that are interested in selling their home, they haven't expressed interest, those are the people I want to talk to. Okay, so lead source, these are good things to know. So you can, if it's just a source, whether it was a referral, an allied, what are they? Are they an agent? Are they an allied resource? Buyer call in, phone time, email marketing. You can create your own in this in terms of a lead source. Door knocking, open house, whatever it is, and put the lead source down. Or if they're a referral from a contact, say from a contact, and start going through your list, you just type in the name of, well, this one's from, there we go. And now you can, this is from one of the other people in my database, I'll put that in there. And now I have someone I can call and say, thank you. And by the way, here's, have lunch on me, here's $15 to Chick-fil-A, or Chipotle. Thank you so much for the referral. Really appreciate it. Something like that, okay? So capturing more information, lead sources, tags. Before I get into tags, I'm gonna go down here to more information. Okay, our additional contact information. This is where, what is their preferred method of contact? Do they want to be emailed? Do they want to be called, text? Do not contact. You know, if they tell you do not contact, don't contact. You don't want to pay that fine. Okay, if they have additional contact information, additional emails, phones, you can put those here. This is where you capture the address. Good information to have. So
Now, if it says do not call on the list and you're sending flyers out to everyone in that area, do you need to pull those out, or is it okay to go ahead and send them to everyone in that area?
well, do not contact, I believe is only on phone.
I thought so.
The
But
DNC list is only for phone calls.
I just want to make absolutely sure.
Now, if you mail something, a flyer, there's no, I mean, how many pieces of junk mail would we avoid if we could stop junk mail? Right? You can send mail all you want to. You're paying the postage. When it comes to phones, if they're on the DNC, don't call. Don't call. If they're not on the DNC, call them all day. Don't annoy them. But hey, call, add value, you know, come from contribution and wait, hey, I'm having an open house at 123 Main Street on Saturday, just down from here. Now, open house is going to be from 2 to 4. We're going to have a lot of snacks. We're going to have some water, good information about the neighborhood. You're more than welcome to come by. Wanted to make sure that you knew as well, because there may be a lot of traffic. And, you know, just so you're aware, you know, if you have kids, I didn't want that to be a problem. By the way, do you know anyone who's looking to move into the neighborhood? It's our friends and family special day.
So if you know someone else who is in the real estate business but they're with a different company, can you do an open house for them just as a lead generation if they say it's okay?
There's 200 agents in this office who will help you.
I have a house right down the street from me, and the lady who's actually the agent doesn't live anywhere near there. And I thought, maybe I'll look a house for her, so
Sure,
since I'm 5 minutes from it.
absolutely. If that works, go ahead. You know, definitely. Now, obviously, if you're looking for lead generation opportunities, there's people here in the office that have listings all the time. Just go into MLS, pull up the information of office listings, call them up and say, hey, are you doing an open house for this one? If not, do you mind if can I do it? Or go out to the KW Denton Facebook page. There's people all the time that if they need somebody to sit for an open house, they'll do it.
Oh, okay.
They list it out there. Okay. But yeah, absolutely. One of the things, you know, when it comes to like Facebook ads that you can do through command, if you don't have a listing, find one of the listings in there from here in the office and just call them and say, hey, do you mind if I put a Facebook ad up for a week with your listing at, 2434 Lillian Miller? Yeah, that's no problem at all. Put up an ad. And then obviously they click the ad, they put in their information, sends it directly to command, you call them. It's not costing the agent anything. It's getting the word of their listing out to more people. And now you're creating leads for the buyer side. Yep.
Do you personally send email campaigns? Okay, do you have to put at the bottom like an option for them to unsubscribe?
It does it automatically.
Do you use MailChimp?
They use command.
Okay, there are templates they have on there.
If they would like to opt out of email marketing, there's an unsubscribe button.
Okay.
You have to offer that. And if they do, I just throw on my do not contact and go from there.
So what is the purpose really in putting do not contact rather than just deleting their whole contact?
Well,
I guess because one day they could still reach back out to you.
they may still have a birthday. They didn't say they wanted no contact. They just didn't want my emails.
Okay,
All right, so they don't like emails,
find
but they still
another
have a
way.
birthday. I'm gonna send them a note on the birthday.
okay.
I can still send them a text message that says happy birthday.
Now, do you like, whenever you call for sell by owners and they don't want to use a realtor right now,
Mhm.
are you still gonna
Yep, I'm gonna call
send them
them.
birthday stuff? and
I'm
whatnot?
gonna call them once a week
Okay,
until their home is sold. Or they live, more than likely, they list with me. Because here's the whole thing. Okay? The whole reason we're talking about databases, capturing information, contacting them, touching them. Write this down. The fortune is in the follow-up. It's all about following up with people. Very rarely, if ever, there's the one every now and again, that the first time you talk to someone, they're ready to buy, sell, or invest. And they have a home and they're ready to go and they're got mortgage pre-approval and everything else. Almost always, it's gonna take 2, 3, 4, and more times than not, it's gonna take 5, 6, 7, 8 contacts before they're willing to do business. And most agents give up after 1 contact, maybe 2. But over 50% of your business is gonna come from contacts 5, 6, 7, and 8.
I definitely made a mistake with one lady. I called her and she said, no, I want to see if I can get it sold for the best price myself for the next 30 days. Call me in 30 days. So I waited and called her back in 30 days and she had signed with an agent a week before.
Mhm.
So I said, well, and I did ask, so what made you choose that agent? And she said, she just wouldn't leave me alone. And I'm like, cried.
I had to sign the paper to make her shut up.
Yeah, Hey, and you know, it may not come up, it may not work out. You may have 5 for sale by owners and you may call them once a week for 8 weeks. And they're like, I had one, I called every week for 6 weeks. Like, hey, you know, how's everything going? Is there something I can do to help? What information can I provide to assist you in this? Are you ready to list yet? Like, we think, can do it ourselves. Still do it ourselves. Hey, well, you know, something to think about, you know, seeing this many days, you know, something to contribute value and just to keep in touch. How's it going? Are you getting people still interested in your home? You're still getting calls? Just staying in contact. 6 weeks, call, and he's like, yeah, I think we finally decided we're gonna put it on the market. And I was like, great. Well, why don't we set up a meeting, sit down and talk about this? All right, well, let me get right back to you. And I didn't solidify the meeting. He goes, but call me back on Wednesday. Fine. Tuesday afternoon, it went on the market. Come on. Now, it turned out in that situation, he was never going to use me anyway. It was his dad, the guy I was contacting was the son-in-law and the father-in-law who actually owned the house. He had somebody of his who was a realtor who he was going to list with the whole time. Okay, that sucks. But I got in the habit and realized, okay, it's not, it was a hard lesson, but you realize it's not contact 1, 2, or 3 and quit. Or 1 and quit, 1 and 2 and quit. 5, 6, 7, 8 is where by staying in contact, I at least was still in the run. Yeah, I gave myself a chance. And if it hadn't been for that other relationship, or maybe the other guy couldn't have done it, well, then it was going to be my list. And it sold within a week. Because there was nothing wrong with this price. It's all market. Getting it out. So the fortune is in the follow.
Yeah, when my dad passed away, they got a real estate agent before they ever put a sign up in the yard. Neighbors had all come around and said, "Oh, no, we're selling your house." Before they ever put the sign in the yard, they already had a contract.
Mhm.
So.
And there's going to be those like that, But it, like I said, at least it keeps you in the run. Okay. All right. So the additional information talked about, obviously how they prefer to be contacted, email, additional phone numbers, emails. If they have a relationship, husband, wife, kids, father, mother, however, any additional relationships, add those in. It'll create profiles for them. And you just go in and fill in their information. Address, as soon as you put in an address and save it, in terms of the neighborhoods, it's going to automatically pop up. So all you have to do at that point is add in smart plan. Facebook, it'll automatically go out and put Facebook posts, happy birthday, things of that nature.
Now,
Or pull information in from Facebook.
Now that you said something about the, I had on here. So I wanted to send information to Chelsea about the neighborhood. So I added in the neighborhood, but it wouldn't let me circle the area. And because it's just letting me pick the little specific
Well,
neighborhoods.
the neighborhoods are defined.
Yeah.
So what you can do, it's going to set up a primary.
Mhm.
You can add in additional neighborhoods that'll be a part of the email.
Well, I added in all the areas because I was hoping, it says you can circle the area, but then there's no way to do it that I
Well,
can see.
What you do is you go to map and like say it's this neighborhood here,
Right.
and then there's 5 around it. You just go click the 5 immediately around it. It adds those in, and so when the email is sent, they click the link. It takes them to a web page. It says, "Here's my neighborhood." It's the neighborhood page. There'll basically be 6 tabs. Here's the primary one. They can click on the ones around.
Okay.
Or you can do by a zip code. Okay. Facebook URLs. Okay. And then in our about, if they have a legal name, you call them Gigi, but Guinevere is their first name or whatever it is, right? You want to make sure you have that legal name because when it goes on the offer and the contract, they're going to want it to be their legal name. Birthdays, home anniversary, obviously their relationships, company name, get that in there in the title. especially if they're a vendor. You want to have that company name so you can refer, okay? And all that information is going to help you to market. So that's how we captured the information. Now, everybody clear on that one? Okay. As far as the tags, so if you go into settings, click on your profile name and go into settings. Or when you're on the contact, you can select the list and add new ones if it's a new one, right then and there. Okay. So general settings, let's see. So here's tags for buyers, tenants, sellers, lease, investor. Anything that's innate created, system generated, anything that you create is yours. Right? And you go in and just create a new tag. Here's the tag name, color, create, and then listed here. Okay. So these are opportunity tags. You click on recording, nothing there. And then connect settings, okay, global settings. Okay. All right, so if you go under contacts, here is, there's fields and there's tags. So contact tags. Here's all the ones that are system. And you'll see they have, most of the system ones are either white like this, or they are green with the white, or black with the white, like these. Those are most of your system tags. The rest of these you can create, and you can create them for anything. I have ones for invalid email, no contacts, emails, open house, opt-outs. There's contacts from phone time, referrals, superstar. So yeah. Okay. Now, any way you want to organize your people, you can create tags, right? And we've got 18 minutes left, so we'll go through this. Now, the way when I talked about DTD2, okay? That is this thing here. And it's a worksheet. I can send it to you. Send me an email. My email address is shane.knudsen. Here. Shane.knudsen, K-N-U-T-S-E-N, at kw.com. Okay. I'll get you the 99 ways to lead generate and this DTD2. What the DTD2 is, it's a way of organizing people with these tags. So like A&W, grouping. So there's 26 letters in an alphabet, but there's 13 weeks in a quarter. 13 times 4 is 52. 52 weeks in a year. 13 weeks in a quarter. 2 letters a week. Every week for 13 weeks is 26 letters of the alphabet. So basically what it does is allows you to arrange the letters of the alphabet so that you can set up a quarterly call plan, call everyone in your database once a quarter. And by choosing these 2 letters per week. So this week I can call the A's and the W's. Next week I can call the B's and E's. One week I'm not gonna have many calls because it's the Y and Z.
What was your email address again?
Shane, SHANE,
Newton, KNUTSON.
at kw.com. Okay. And so how this works is, you set up a tag. So all you have to do to create a tag, you just put in the tag name, select the color, click create. So now, once I go back, and you can also do it on the contacts. If you have a new one, you need to create. So I'll go to the, I'm ahead, I'll use this. So his neighborhood's in here already because I have his address. Legal name, have his birthday. I have his home anniversary. Again, cat, phone number, email. Okay. And then I put in these tags. All I gotta do is edit. If I need to add a tag, I just click down and now there's more that I can select. Put him on. If I have one that's not in here, all I need to do is say, start typing, test. I can create custom tag. From
That's
that.
way more convenient than going back to
Uh-huh.
to the tag.
Well,
to create.
if you know the ones you want to put in there, you just set those up at the beginning.
Okay.
And then they're just, you can pull them from the list when you start typing. If you have one you need to add, just add it in where you need to, create custom, pulls up the same thing. Here's the name, test, pick the color, create, and it already tags it. Okay. Easy way to do it. So once you have the tags in there, you have all your information. Okay, so let's talk about some of the smart plans while we're here, right? So timeline, all my emails, it's gonna have them, right? If I have opportunities, it's gonna show those here. Tasks, so I'm behind on my calls, I know. Yeah, that was past due. So once I go in here and I call them, so I have my task list here, I can look up what I need to do. There's the one at the top on the front page as well. I can just click it and do it. But I can go here, my notes. I can add in a note and say phone call. I called him Ed for a quarterly call plan, said hello. He's planning to move in 6 months. Got a note. Right? So now I put that in there. That information is captured. It's going to be in here on my timeline.
Is there any way, so I was working with a tenant and they ended up deciding, we're gonna add another 6 months to where we are because this is just too stressful right now. So is there anywhere that we could I guess we could add a task to,
Yep.
hey, in 5 months
add it-
from now.
Add
start
in,
checking
add
back.
in a note and put a follow-up task in here. Create task.
Okay.
And now, mark as a call task or a task name, follow up. Looking to leasing now, plan to move in 6 months, follow up in 3. Right? And so high, medium, low level, what's the priority? And you can set a date. And that way it's on your front page
Okay.
as a reminder. Or in your task list over here. Create the task, and now it's in here in our task list. Okay. Smart plans. So these are ones I've added to him. I have quarterly call plan. Home anniversary. Denton Cat, went and looked it up. Birthdays, put on birthday. So it gives you, and what the birthday one does, we'll look at these. So information tasks with it tells you, hey, and what this basically is send a gift or card for their home anniversary. And then it's going to have a delay of 6 days, and then you give them a phone call. So send them a card, say happy anniversary, blah, blah, blah. And 6 days later, I'm going to give them a phone call. Hey, just want to check, see if you got my card. I want to wish you, congratulations on another year in your home. How's everything going? Yeah. It's going great. We're actually thinking of selling our home. Awesome. What's your timeline on thinking of sell? How about I put together some information for you around about, what the other homes are running in your neighborhood, and have you thought about where you're wanting to move? Yeah, we're wanting to move. Great. Let me pull together some information. I can bring you information with the CMA on your home, looking at the value, and let me pull some other homes in the neighborhood you're looking at, and we can talk about it, come up with a plan on how you want to list your home and how you want to go about finding a new home to move to. And now you've got two transactions.
Does that happen often where if they use you to sell?
Sure.
LLCs? I mean, I figured.
Why would they use
but-
somebody else?
Yeah, I don't.
But see, if I hadn't sent that card and I hadn't made that phone call,
Wouldn't have been top of the mind.
I may not have been. He might have called me, he might not. Hey, with the pandemic going, just a call to someone to say, how are you doing? Are you okay? How's your family? Everybody healthy and safe? Just that means more than anyone than you can imagine. Because most people will just get in a routine and they've got blinders and they're going and going and going, but no one asks them how they're doing. Just call and saying,
Yeah.
hey, how's it going? Oh, it's going great, great. Are you and the family healthy? With everything that's been going on in the world, are y'all doing good? Are you healthy? Everybody in good condition? Yeah. Well, how are you? How are you feeling these days? Tired? Kind of like everyone else, a bit worn out with what's been going on for the last year or so? Yeah, I really am. Thank you for asking. That does more than anything. It does more than anything you could buy them. Just knowing that you care. So, okay. All right, so that's our, this one. Give them a call. The quarterly call plan, I do a birthday and then neighborhood nurture. That's four. So this is 12 touches. It's the extra touch right there for the birthday. Actually, it's 2 touches because I'm going to send a card and then I'm going to call on the birthday. And I'm going to send a text message that's automated through command. So that's 3. Quarterly call plan is 4 more. Home anniversary, that's 2 additional because I'm going to send a card in and I'm going to call. So what is that? That's 12, 15, 19, 21 touches right there. When in a year. For someone who's not active, just stay in front of them and keep talking. Okay. And then I send everyone in my database. I don't do it for all the holidays, but I definitely do it for 4th of July. A list of fireworks shows I send out to everyone and say, here you go. Something like that. Okay. All right. So let's hurry. I do want to go through some of the smart ones real quick. So if you haven't gone out there already, there's a library, and this is a lot of plans that are created by other agents throughout Keller Williams. And they have ratings on them, 4.5, 5. Some of these are free. Some of these are for purchase. You go through and look at them, what you want, especially the rated ones. Here's a simple 3-step system for letting your entire database know that you have embarked on your new real estate career with Keller Williams. Sounds like a good plan for everybody in Ignite, doesn't it? And they just created that. I didn't get it. But good way to talk. So long-term nurture, that's one way it creates closer to a 36 touch, you know. The 555, that was one of the ones I was telling you about, where they do 5 phone calls, 5 handwritten notes, 5 text messages, or social media contacts once a quarter. Okay. But my smart plan library, so these are some easy ones. Some of these I created, some of these I got from, if you go to Lab Code Agents on YouTube, or Nick Baldwin on YouTube. He does a lot of command stuff to help you, and he creates some smart plans, has videos walking you through how to set them up. Okay. This intro, that was one he set up. It's the monthly neighborhood nurture, which is down here at the bottom. But there's an intro way where you can set up an intro email saying, hey, you know, we just closed on your home. Thank you again. It's been 30 days. Here's some additional value I can add by helping you keep track of the value of your home through the monthly neighborhood nurture. You'll receive it in 3 days, and then it'll come every month after that. And it's just a warm intro for the plan. Okay. Birthday, that's one. Long-term nurture. See, there's several things you can do in here. You can add smart plans like the monthly neighborhood nurture. You can do a bi-monthly neighborhood nurture.
Good night, it's awfully quiet up here. Oh, I'm so sorry.
It was. It was. We can count on that ending when Jesse arrives.
I love you, Shane Newton. I'm sorry, guys.
All right. But so the long-term nurtures, the main ones I use, monthly neighborhood nurture, birthday, home anniversary. You can use the bi-weekly, and it does it every 2 weeks instead of every 30 days. And like for someone who's really interested in the neighborhood, this has value. If they're out looking and they're really wanting to stay up to date on a certain neighborhood, it's a good one to add. Or if they're thinking about being part of that process. Promote my app as being new to Keller Williams. This is a great one to send to everyone in your database. Just like the, hey, I'm a new agent. Here's one to get your app. And it sends them out. They're aware of it. They can download it. You can talk, put some information in there about the benefits. An open house follow-up. So if you do an open house, this open house follow-up is a good one. It was out there in the library where you can send a text, name delay, send an email, phone call. They just follow it up, right? So anyway, these are ones that were already in there or I've built. There's good ones in there. You can go in the library and find tons of smart plans that are beneficial and effective. And if you ever ever have a question, feel free to reach out to me or Diane, because she is the command guru.
I try.
Yep. Okay, we have 2 minutes left. Any questions? Did I kill you with the fire hose today?
No.
Your thing of the license smart plans? Are those the ones you downloaded from the library? Those are the ones you've actively used?
Those are ones that I've actively used, I've created, or were already set up. I mean, some of the smart plans are already set up and they're in there just by default. Some of these I created from other people like Nick Baldwin, so some of those that had smart plans and well, they did a YouTube video and how to set it up, and I just set it up for me. And now you can go out to the library and just pull the ones that are already set up and you just change it to you. All right. So that's where we are. Any other questions? Bill?
No, everything sounds good.
All right, Bill, any other thoughts or comments on today?
I think you covered everything really well, very informative.
Okay, my check's on the way for that. Thank you. Anything that you have a quick question on that I maybe wasn't clear or follow-up information?
No, you were very clear on everything.
Awesome. Thank you. And like I said, send me an email and I'll get those to the do the database 2 and the 99 ways to lead generate. Okay.
Okay.
And Rebecca, wrote the same for you. Send me an email. I'll get those to you. If you ever have any questions, feel free to reach out. I'm always happy to help any way I can. Like I said, Diana's here as a great command resource around smart plans and setting up contacts as well. And just remember, take care of your database, market to your database, and continue to follow up because the fortune's in the fall. Okay? All right. Good luck with the rest of Ignite and go get them, all right? Thank y'all.
Woo! Sorry. I walked up before she is literally in the middle of class and I go, wow, it's really quiet in here. Oops, sorry.
Well, the one thing we can always count on is Jesse.